Honorable Chairs, I rise to report that the quorum does exist for the Joint Committee to commence recess.
Thank you very much, Clerk. It's for the quorum does exist for the Joint Committees to commence business. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Not in favor, please say no. So the ayes have it. Honourable members, Honourable Co-Chair, the draft agenda is before us for consideration and adoption. It's a 6-bullet point agenda: prayers, review and adoption of the agenda, adoption, and receipt of oath, meeting with the former Minister of Petroleum and Energy, and any other business. Can I have any other member to move that we adopt the agenda?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Move that we adopt the agenda.
Any seconder? It's been moved and seconded, so decided that we adopt the agenda as presented. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Not in favor, please say no. So the ayes have it. The agenda is so decided. Thank you. First of all, I think it's important for us to have a self-introduction to offer ourselves various composition in our midst. I believe by very self, Honorable Lady Tunkara, the Vice Chairperson of Standing Committee of Public Enterprise Committee, and Chair of the Joint Committee.
Thank you. I'm Honorable Fpac And Pec, a member of the Finance and Public Accounts Committee, and also a member of the Joint Committee. I think, Gideon, you will have to move a bit. I don't know how we position you so that they can have that direct interface. It's important. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Next.
Honorable Parliamentry, member of Fpac and also member of the Joint Committee.
Good morning, Suleiman Jame, member of the Fpac Committee.
Good morning, I'm Honorable Fpac member of the Fpac Committee.
Good morning, I'm Honorable Musa Cham, member to the committee.
Good morning, Honorable Salif Yao, Public Enterprise Committee and the Joint Committee as well.
Good morning, Honorable Sir, member for Pec and also the Joint Committee.
Good morning, Honorable Sabayan, member of Pec and also the Joint Committee.
Assalamualaikum, Honorable Amado Jiba, former councillor, member of Public and also Joint Committee.
Good morning, Madam Chair from National Audit Office, Ministerial Committee.
Morning, Babu Kabaji, NAO, Ministerial Committee.
Good morning, I'm Honorable Abdullah Joe, Tourism, Arts and Culture.
Good morning. My name is Ibrahim Adil, Public and Practice Committee.
Thank you very much, honorable members, minister and staff here present, of course, representative from National Audit Office. Permit me to express our sincere appreciation to the Honourable Minister for Tourism, who was former Minister of Petroleum and Energy, for answering a clear call by this Joint Committee to have an engagement. You may be aware that the Joint Committee of Fpac And Pec on Parliamentary inquiry into the petroleum products of 96,993,614 metric tons that is valued at $30 million investigations ongoing. 30 million US dollars. But be aware this investigation was sanctioned by the plenary, giving the Joint Committee to sit over it to inquire into the alleged issues. So it was based on those pretenses we are invited to come as a primary witness to come and then have the engagement with the committee. So on that note, will now give the baton to the lead questioner or the lead. So, as procedural demand, anybody who appeared before the committee, sanctioned by our standing orders, that there is what we call a procedure of oath, to make sure that you, on the oath, whatever you submit here is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. We will now allow the clerk at this junction to go and administer the oath prior before our official engagement. Clerk.
Do hereby affirm that I will speak the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me Allah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister of Tourism, for that plans. Now I will now give the baton to my co-chair, please, this engagement. So the co-chair, about you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Co-Chair. We welcome the Minister to this joint committee of the Finance and Public Accounts Committee and the Public Enterprises Committee, which is being mandated by plenary to look into the petroleum products of 46,000 plus metric tons, amounting to over $30 million. Co-Chair, honorable members, before we go into the session proper, we rewind back and allow our witness to formally introduce himself and his current portfolio. Then we go into the session proper. No.
He did that a little bit now.
He did that. He did, yes.
Okay. Can you take this mic, please?
Use this, yes. Bring that one.
Okay, I've just been informed that the witness did indeed introduce himself. As such, honorable co-chair and honorable members, before going into the session proper, I would just like to refer the House to section 1092 of the Constitution and section 110 as well. With your permission, honorable members, I'll read. Section 1092, subsection 2 reads that committees may be appointed A. to investigate or inquire into the activities or administration of ministries or departments of the government, and such investigation or inquiry may extend to making proposals for legislation, or B. to investigate any matter of public importance. Section 1093 reads, for the purpose of effectively performing its functions, each of the committees shall have all of the powers, rights, and privileges as are vested in the High Courts, at trial or in respect of A. enforcing the attendance of witnesses and examining them on oath, affirmation, or otherwise, and B. compelling the production of documents, and C. the issue of a commission or request to examine witnesses abroad. Section 110 of the Constitution, contempt of the National Assembly. Any act or omission which obstructs or impedes the National Assembly in the performance of its functions, or which obstructs or impedes any member or officer of the National Assembly in the discharge of his or her duties, or affronts the dignity of the National Assembly, shall be a contempt of the National Assembly. And in addition to any liability in respect thereof under the criminal law, the offender shall be liable to reprimand or admonition by the National Assembly, and if the offender is a member of the National Assembly, suspension or expulsion from the National Assembly. Honorable Co-Chair, honorable members, having said this, it is the norm of this joint committee that during our proceedings we'll have a lead questioner. In this case, I've been chosen by the joint committee to be the lead questioner for this particular session. And for the Honorable Minister, once the session starts, I'll be asking the questions and then we'll be providing guidance, and at any moment I will have the privilege to interject if the need is there to have clarity with regards to the substance that the committee will be investigating on. And after all the questions are exhausted, then the floor will be open where members will be asking supplementary questions. And the procedure to that is the same as the one I'll be guiding. When members ask the questions as well, answers will be expected from your honorable person, and they would have the opportunity as well to interject at any moment where they believe further clarity will be provided. Having said that, Honorable Minister, what is the role? What is your current role? Which ministry are you currently occupying?
Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture.
Tourism, Arts and Culture. When did you assume that role? When did you take that responsibility?
I want to believe that March this year.
March of?
This year.
This year, that will be 2024.
Yes.
Before being assigned to the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, which ministerial portfolio were you handling?
Petroleum and Energy.
Petroleum and Energy.
Yes.
Can you inform this Honorable James Coming when you were appointed as the Minister of Petroleum and Energy?
The President, acting on Section 71(1), 73(1)(3) of the Constitution, finally appointed me Minister on the 4th of May 2022.
4th of May
2022.
2022.
Yes.
And you were the substantive holder of that position till when?
Yes, I said until I was deployed in March.
In March of
This year.
This year, 2024. What was your responsibility as the Minister of Petroleum and Energy?
My responsibility and function as a Minister of Petroleum Energy is defined in my appointment letter, which is contained in a confidential letter signed by the President. You can ask the President for a copy of the letter because it's confidential. Secondly, my responsibility as the Minister was to be responsible for the portfolio of petroleum and energy.
Prime Minister, I will take that question again. What was your responsibility as the Minister of?
My responsibility as a Minister is to define and work with policies.
To define?
To develop policies and provide overall responsibility for the sector. Oversight responsibility for the sectors.
And develop policies?
Yes.
Yes. You may continue.
That's my responsibility.
That is to develop policies and provide oversight.
Oversight responsibility, and as I said, the responsibility that I have is articulated in my appointment letter, which is confidential. So
we will not go into.
Yeah, but that's what I'm telling you.
Allow me to read.
So if you want, I can read the responsibility that the President gave me in respect of my appointment letter. I can read it for you.
Allow me to ask a question, Minister.
But
can you allow me? I said it in my introduction. We ask the questions you answer. If you do not ask, you wouldn't know the answers we are requiring. Please, Honorable Minister. We will not probe into anything of confidential nature, and the confidentiality of anything at the end of the day would lie at the discretion of the committee. But these are general issues that we will not probe into too much. We do not believe that what we the fish of the ministerial appointment letter might be confidential if at all their functions are what? Public. Now, in specific terms, tell us what is the responsibility of the Minister of Petroleum and Energy.
I will tell you in a minute. Let me read what the President has given me.
No, but we are not concerned. We will lead, Honorable Minister. You don't lead here. Please put up the mic. Can you put up that mic? You don't lead. Now, we are not asking about your responsibility as a minister. We want to know the responsibility of the Minister of Petroleum and Energy. Since your appointment is confidential, we are solving that for the executive. Now, tell us the responsibility of the Minister of Petroleum and Energy. You can pick it from that angle.
Honorable, I cannot tell you the responsibility separate from what has been given to me as the Minister of Petroleum and Energy by the President.
But you said that's confidential.
No. What I said, and I did clarify, I said I will be able to read the specific responsibilities that the President gave me. What I'm saying is in respect of the letter itself.
No.
That's what I said. Let me clarify that. I'm clarifying that I can read for you the responsibility that the President gave me in my appointment letter, but the letter is confidential. You can ask the President. That's what I said. Let me clarify that.
Okay, that portion of it is what we could have avoided, that we can ask the President.
It's a confidential letter.
No. The question is, we didn't ask what the President gave you. We asked for your responsibility.
Yeah, but my responsibility is given by the President.
So that is why now we are not probing into that. Tell us the responsibility of the Minister of Petroleum and Energy, and if that is intertwined with your responsibility, then you can read for us what you have. If they are separate, then you answer the question specifically.
I will tell you, my responsibility includes, as a minister, as conducting in Cabinet and in the National Assembly businesses relating to matters within my portfolio. It is putting in effect, in collaboration with appropriate public officials and other ministers, the decision taken in Cabinet relating to such matters, including initiating policies on all matters within my portfolio. Those are my responsibilities as the Minister of Petroleum and Energy.
Which institutions were you mandated to make oversight over?
I was mandated to make oversight on JPC, NAWEC, Petroleum Commission, and Geology.
That's all?
Yes, that's all.
Did you have any mandate over Pura?
In terms of what?
Oversight.
No, I'm not. Pura is not under my mandate.
What collaboration do you have with Pura?
I don't have any collaboration. As the Minister of Petroleum, of Energy, you define regulations in pursuance to the Petroleum Products Act of 2016.
So, your ministry have no mandate to look into specific or general issues with regards to the performance of Pura as an entity?
No, that's not Pura does not fall under my responsibility. Pura is under the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs.
Does Pura have the responsibility to advise you on the issuance of certain specific licenses?
Pura doesn't advise me. Pura acts on regulations that are defined by the minister.
Do you, as a minister, advise Pura to issue licenses on specific issues?
As I said, that is in respect of a regulation.
Can you tell us a regulation?
No, there is a regulation. There is a regulation in respect of licensing.
Yes, come now. We want to know in specific terms. Which specific license?
It's a Petroleum Product Act licensing regulation.
So
there are regulations relating to the petroleum sector, which is there. So of the specific name, I can't tell you that. But I can tell you that there is a regulation for licensing. And there's a process that the Minister of Petroleum has defined as a regulation.
Now, can you tell us what PURA is mandated to do with regards to the petroleum licensing, and what is the responsibility of the ministry with regards to the said licensing?
The responsibility of PURA with respect to the petroleum products is defined in the Petroleum Products Act, which I can read for you. Just a moment. Function of the authority. Under Section 6.5 of the Petroleum Products Act of 2016, if you go there, you will know the function of the authority in the supply chain. It says that the product supply operations are considered as part of regulated public services. The authority shall perform technical, economic, safety regulation functions in relation of the petroleum product supply operations. The authorities shall supervise, control, and ensure the effective and impartial enforcement of the Act and other applicable law, regulations, administrative orders, standards, specifications, and code of practice, without prejudice to the function conferred to the authority under subsection 1 of the PURA Act. The authority may monitor petroleum products quality, quantity, and standard of performance. Give direction to a person granted a license or a permit. Initiate and conduct investigation in relation to technical, economic, and safety issues in petroleum product supply operations. Prescribe code of conduct, etc. This is all outlined in the Act.
The responsibility of the ministry.
The responsibility
with regards to specifically the issuance, granting, or approval of licensing.
Honorable, the function of the minister,
yes,
not the ministry in the Act, is provided for part 2 on an administration, subsection 4, which is the function of minister, which says that the minister shall have the following specific functions in relation to the Act: issue, renew, suspend, or revoke licenses on the advice of the authority. Initiate legislation and make necessary regulations in order to support and promote a continuous, secure, and adequate supply of petroleum products at a competitive price at all consumers. Promote the increase of opportunities for regional petroleum products trade and encourage diversity of supply sources, routes, and means of transportation. Advise the government on policy, product supply, policy management, and petroleum product supply strategies, among other issues which are outlined in subsection 4 of the Petroleum Products Act of 2016.
Which will set out the technical, safety, environmental, and allow me to lay it down. And then when I ask, you can, if I, in one way or the other, misstate your testimony, you will have the opportunity to restate it. But do not interject. Okay? Do not interject. Which is true. Have the technical responsibility to provide safety guidelines, look at the environmental impact assessment issues, and also regulate both the quality and quantity of fuel that comes here. The minister has the responsibility to issue, to terminate, and to renew licenses. So that is I want to prove. In the responsibility to issue, renew, or terminate licenses, Where does the minister get advices from?
Honorable, let me explain to you. PURA does not set standards. PURA does not set regulations. Regulations are developed by the minister. Standards that are applicable in the sector is developed by the Standards Bureau and put in a regulation. And all PURA does is comply with the provisions of the regulation to regulate the sector in terms of quality and quantity. Now, in terms of license, as provided for in the section of the relevant section of the Act and the accompanying regulation developed by the minister, PURA, you apply for license at PURA.
Continue.
And then when you apply for license at PURA, PURA does the review process and make a recommendation to the minister through the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy. And the recommendation is presented to the minister, and it is the minister's prerogative, as provided for in the law, to approve or disapprove or reject or whatever.
That's the submission.
That's my submission.
Thank you. That applications are received at PURA. PURA will do the evaluation, and then through the permanent secretary advises the minister. And at the prerogative of the minister, license will be granted, or they will be what? Declined. Then, Honorable Minister, what was the industrial standard in the petroleum value chain as at the time of your appointment, which would have been the 4th of March 2022, 4th of May 2022. What were the industrial standards?
What do you mean, what were the industrial standards? What do you mean?
The petroleum industry, the petroleum value chain,
yes,
is regulated. There were regulations. So, what regulation did you find in place as at the time?
The regulations that I find in time is the regulations that are govern the petroleum sector, which is there.
Did you have any oversight responsibility over Gambia Petroleum?
In terms of what?
I'm asking you, on general terms. If you want later, you can narrow it down to specific responsibilities. But in general terms, do you have, as a minister or ministry in the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy, any oversight responsibility over the Gambia Petroleum?
Gambia Petroleum is not a public enterprise. It's not an SOE.
Really?
So we have absolutely nothing as a minister to do with Gambia Petroleum as far as oversight is concerned.
Do you have any working relations?
Yeah, there is a regulation.
And Minister, tell us in general terms or in specific terms what relationship exists between the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy and Gambia Petroleum.
As I said, they are licensed under the Petroleum Products Act. They are granted license to operate by the minister.
Gambia Petroleum?
Yes.
That's the depot at Marina?
Yes, not only Gambia Petroleum, but also GDS is granted a license by the minister to
the question is on Gambia Petroleum.
Yeah, but you're asking me a general question, and I'm giving you something about the industry.
Honorable Minister, my question was not general with regards to the depots in the Gambia.
Okay.
My question was general with regards to the working relationship between your ministry, the ministry you are occupying, and Gambia Petroleum. And that is specific.
I've answered that.
Can you repeat that submission?
Yeah, I said Gam Petroleum, the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy has absolutely no oversight responsibility over Gam Petroleum.
I mean working relationship, not oversight anymore. I'm not looking at you controlling them or not.
No, what oversight responsibility? They are licensed by the minister.
They are licensed by the minister?
Yes.
And that's where it stops. After licensing Gam Petroleum, you do not have any other working relationship with you. They do not report to you. Do they report to you on any issues?
Yes, they provide daily reports of the stock levels in the facility for government to know what is happening at the terminal.
Minister, maybe I will simplify the question now. When you were the Minister of Petroleum and Energy,
yes,
can you tell us what reporting elements or lines were expected from Gam Petroleum to the ministry? And what updates were you receiving?
Under the licensing framework, the minister can request for any information from Gam Petroleum, directly or through Kura. That is law. Now, every day, Gam Petroleum will submit to the ministry the daily stock reports at the facility for government to know the level of fuel stock in this country and who they are holding the stock, in whose name they are holding the stock. Every morning they will give that stock in terms of petrol, in terms of HFO, in terms of diesel, in terms of jet fuel, in terms of jet fuel, petrol, diesel, and HFO, and of course gas. That's LPG.
Is there any other? Is there any other thing expected of Gam Petroleum apart from the provision of these daily reports?
No, I mean, as I said, the ministry can ask Gam Petroleum for any information that they so desire to know what is happening in the sector, in the supply chain.
During your tenure as the Minister of Petroleum and Energy, did you ever ask Gam Petroleum any information which is different from the daily activity report that is sent?
These are, as I said, that is a general question, so you have to be specific when you tell me, you say, if I have asked them for any other information.
Minister, I will interject again. What you provided was in the general sense that the ministry can ask Gam Petroleum anything. And in the reverse, I ask you a specific question.
Yes.
Whether you have requested for any other thing from Gam Petroleum different from the activity report. To narrow down your general answer. That's why I asked that question. And I will take it again. Apart from the daily activity reports that are submitted by Gam Petroleum during your time as a minister, did you in any instance ask for any other information?
Yes, we've specifically asked for, the deliveries in the facility.
Deliveries?
Fuel deliveries in the facility. We have asked.
Can you enlighten the Joint Committee what you mean by fuel deliveries?
Fuel that are delivered at the terminal.
Who would normally do the deliveries?
International traders.
International traders. Yes. Please continue.
International traders, deliveries at the terminal. We've asked them uplift data in the past. My memory serves me, uplift data, who are taking data from the terminal.
And who would normally lift?
It's the OMCs.
The OMCs.
That are licensed OMCs.
Okay. Please continue.
Licensed OMCs, those are data that we have requested from them. We have requested from them to give us also the importation process, the the storing, not the importing, the storing and the depositing and storing of product in the terminal, to explain the process to us with supporting documents, as well as how you lift product from the terminal. Yes. Among other things, which...
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Yes.
At this point, I will go back to the initial question I asked,
yes,
which was with regards to the industrial standard. So now, I will narrow it down to the petroleum value chain, which you've kind of explicitly given, from the international traders to Petroleum and then to the OMCs.
Yes.
As at the time you were appointed as the minister in 2022,
yes,
was there any industrial standard or policy guiding the petroleum value chain? Okay, I'll be specific again, just to guide the question. And that is with regards to the deliveries at Petroleum and with regards to the uplifts by the OMCs. Was there any policy or standard guiding it?
Yeah, but that is how the business functions. I mean, traders, the traders, the petroleum value chain in this country is that the Petroleum have a storage facility. It's a house, it's a bonded warehouse. And that, since its inception in 2012, it has operated as a bonded warehouse. And that is how it has operated. And that the traders, these are the international traders, be it Trafigura, who has been depositing product at the terminal. Trafigura is an international fuel trader who has been depositing product at the terminal since its inception. You have also PSTV, which is an international trader based in Dubai. Trafigura is based in Singapore. You have Arax, which is based in Switzerland, depositing product at the terminal. They come, these are international traders, they have the product, they bring it and dump it at the warehouse, which is a free zone. At that free zone...
Sorry, can I add something? At that point, by the time of your appointment in March 2022, was there any standard that guides the way these international traders, Trafigura, Arax, PSTV,
what is the standard?
How do they do the depositing, the deliveries as Petroleum? Do they have any guideline?
No, that's an operational issue. That's not a policy issue. That's not for me to answer. If you want to ask that, you ask the minister, you ask the depot. That's not a policy issue. That's an operational issue.
That's an operational issue?
Yes.
There should be no policy guideline to really dictate how that should be done. Is that your submission?
That is your take. That's
no,
not your submission.
Okay, can you tell us your submission on this?
No, my submission is that is a policy. That's not a policy issue. That's an operational issue, which I don't deal with.
So
and the ministry does not deal with who deposit product at the terminal, because it's a free zone. It's a bonded warehouse owned entirely by Petroleum, not the government, but they are regulated in terms of the quality of product that is deposited at their terminal.
So, is it your submission, Honorable Minister, that government policies should not deal with how deliveries of petroleum products are done at the bonded warehouses? Is that your submission?
That's not what I said. That's your...
Then, Honorable Minister, can you tell us in explicit terms what you mean?
What I mean is exactly what I said.
Say it again.
I will say it 1,000 times.
Just say it once, that will be sufficient. If it's clear, once will be sufficient.
What I said...
No, Honorable Minister, sorry. Honorable Minister must be patient.
Yeah.
Wait, Honorable Minister, put up that mic. Can you put up that mic? Sorry. I read section 109 and 110 for you. You see, it is not you against the honorable members, or you against this small man. And it is not us against anybody. This is an issue of national interest. And no one is asking you in your individual capacity. You have been questioned here as a state minister in front of the National Assembly. So the decorum and respect is not from the only members, it's for the Assembly. Looking at their faces, they are disappointed that I'm taking too much allowance. But I'm not taking that for you as an individual. I'm taking it because what the Assembly mandates us is to know the truth. So I would advise, this is not personal, not between you and anybody. This is you and your responsibility. So please, for the purpose of clarity, can we take that again? Is it your submission? Is it your submission that government policies do not dictate the way deliveries and liftings are done at the depot? Simple. Just once will be okay, not 1,000 times.
Honorable, also with all due respect to you.
No, not me, the Assembly.
No, the Assembly.
Good.
Also, I exercise decorum, and I'm somebody who has a lot of respect. Okay? You asked me and you are insinuating things in what I said, and I'm just responding to that. Okay? Just allow me. Okay, I'm here. No, I'm here. Yes, because I know my responsibility as a minister, and I have executed and will continue to exercise the utmost respect.
We'll take it from there. Now you answer the question.
Yes,
no, you answer the question, Honorable Minister. Not a statement again. Answer the question.
I will answer.
Okay.
And my answer is this.
I will ask the question you answer. Yes. Is it your response? Is it your response that government policies should not probe into the way deliveries and liftings are done at the depot? If that is not your submission, you give us your submission in simple terms.
Honorable, thank you for that question. Government, in terms of its policy on storing, is very clear. At the level of storing, government policy is it is a free zone, and it allows people and traders and anybody that has a product to come and deposit product at the terminal to ensure availability of product for licensed operators to lift from the terminal and ensure national security supply in this country. That is the policy that has existed for the longest time, and that has been in operation for the longest time from the onset of the terminal to date. Now, the number two issue, there is a clear policy and a regulation that government has set up from the terminal to lift the product from the terminal to deliver it and supply within the territory of the Gambia. That is, these are all clear government policies.
Can we look at the first one you stated? You said that government policy is the depot is a free zone. International traders who have products can deposit it. Was that the policy as at the time of your appointment in March 2022?
Honorable, that has always been the policy from the onset of the start of the terminal up to today.
Meaning that was the policy as at the time you were appointed, right?
Yes.
Okay. We'll come back to that in due course on the minister. So which means the industrial standard or the government policy that existed in the deposits, international traders who have product can come and deposit it. Can you tell us the guideline that is there which really governs the way products are lifted from the depot?
Honorable, that is something that is not for me. You have to ask the depot. That's an operational issue. That's not something that I will delve into.
But is there any guideline?
They are regulated.
They are regulated.
They are licensed. The people that lift product from the depot to sell to the within the territory of the Gambia. There is a regulation and they are licensed.
And why does the mandate of the ministry stop? Does it only stop at the licensing point, or does the ministry have any other interest to safeguard? In your other submission, you talk about availability of products in the territory. So after the licensing products, after the licensing of the ONCs, what other role or responsibility or oversight functions does the ministry perform? On the ONCs, I mean.
That is a regulation issue.
So the ministry doesn't perform any in responsibility. Once you license them, that's why it stops.
The ministry has issued a regulation. The ministry and the minister issued a regulation.
Can you tell us the specific regulation?
The regulation is in relation to licensing and operations within as a licensee. These are public documents.
No, I mean you as the minister.
Yeah, but there's a regulation. There's a regulation.
Give us the specific regulation so that we can go for it.
If you want, let me give you
yes,
what the regulation is.
Yes, please.
Okay, just a moment.
Thank you.
And also, I want to clarify something that you said. The OMCs only are authorized on the license to lift product from the terminal. That is a licensing regime. But an OMC can bring product just like the trader based on an agreement with the depot, because the depot is, as I said, a storage facility, a bonded warehouse. Anybody can bring the product. But if you have to lift the product from the terminal, you have to be licensed to sell within the territory of the country. The depot is not within the territory of the country. In literal terms, it is a bonded warehouse, which is the border. So it's...
Allow me 1 minute. Okay. What did I say that you are clarifying? Is that a submission, or are you clarifying something?
I was clarifying what you were saying.
Can you remind us what I said? Because I can't remember saying anything around that line.
No.
And if at all is a submission, we'll take it. And if you are clarifying something I said, can you tell this joint committee what I said that you are clarifying?
Hold on, let me...
Madam Minister, you may suspend that and answer this question. What did I say that you are clarifying?
If I understand correctly, you talked about the OMC's product with the trader and the OMC selling product within the territory.
I won't say that.
Okay.
All I ask you is, what other interest does the ministry have apart from licensing the OMCs?
That was one of the questions that you asked, but you made a statement in respect of what I just...
I never said, and Hansa is here. But what you just said right now, we can take it as your submission. I just need you to confirm that. Can you take your arrest statement as a submission you made? That the OMCs can lift the product and sell it within the territory of the Gambia, and that the depot is not in the territory, it's at the border. Can you take that as a submission?
Yes.
Thank you. Now you can.
And that if you also the international traders are not operating within they're operating at the free zone. And this has been clarified in a response that the Minister of Finance already gave to a question that was raised at the floor of the National Assembly.
Yes, Honorable Minister. Have you seen the regulation with regards to the licensing?
The licensing is the Petroleum Product Importation Regulation.
Petroleum Product Importation Regulation?
Yes.
And which agency is responsible for the enforcement of that legislation?
That is PURA.
That is what?
Pura.
That is pure.
Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. So, with regards to the guidelines at the depot, says since the inception of the depot, international traders are at liberty to deposit their petroleum products at the depot. And that have been the guideline since the inception of the depot. But, Honorable Minister, we had the former permanent secretary at the Ministry of Petroleum, Mr. Lamin Kamara. No, Mr. Lamin Kamara. Did I pronounce the name correctly? Who was called on here as a witness. And we also have the two permanent secretaries at the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, who were also summoned. And what they indicated as industrial standards governing the operations of the depot is that the depot is a border, which we've clearly stated, and that yes, I said, kindly give your coffee to the minister.
Black coffee. Okay.
Yes, and what they indicated was, it was the legend OMCs who would initiate a business relationship with a specific international trader, be it ADAX, Trafigura, PSTV, and then apply for ULAG at the depot, which means it was the OMCs who would have approval for ULAG. And that submission stands at parallel with the response you've provided. Can you give us clarity into that?
Honorable, thank you very much. I don't think I'm here to try to exchange with what Mr. PS Lamin Kamara or the two PSCs at Ministry of Finance have said and have not said. What I can tell you and what the data has shown is that the product, okay, at the terminal were brought and stored and owned by the international traders, not the OMCs.
Honorable Minister, that's why we backtrack to the date of the appointment. And all we are trying to ask for is clarity. Were all these two policies invocational, or was one day or not? This is what we want. Because when we asked them, they told us in clear terms that the OMCs are the ones who will do application for this ULAG.
Honorable, application for ULAG and storage of product or ownership of product are three different things.
Can you enlighten us?
Yes, I'm entirely you. The product that was stored, if I apply for a ULAG, and they said, and Lamin Khan and everybody, or the two PSCs said, that this was because you apply the OMC apply a ULAG, and somebody's product, and because it's owned by because somebody applies a ULAG, the product is not owned by the OMC. The product is not owned by the OMC. The product is owned by the international trader. And what has happened is this: you should ask the terminal for clarification, because the issue of application or who owns the product at the terminal and how the product is deposited at the terminal is for the terminal to decide. this policy that they're talking about, that is not a policy. That has what Lamin Kamara or the two PSCs said are not policies. They were not policies.
What were they?
I don't know what they are. They were not policies. The policy that I've told you is that the product, as far as the government is concerned, is that products and international traders are allowed to put product at the terminal.
It is your submission that that has been the policy since.
Yes.
Then, Honourable Minister, why was there the need for your ministry to come up with another policy on the 30th of October 2023 if what you have submitted was the case?
Honourable, if you permit me, my policy of October 2023 should not be put out of context.
No,
I'm coming.
I'm just asking
I will
if that was the reason.
Now,
can you tell us the gaps that existed
let me tell you.
in the existing policy that warranted your ministry's policy of the 30th of October 2023? We are not interpreting the policy. No. We are allowing you to submit the policy to us for an objective assessment.
Let me explain to you. Thank you very much, Honourable. I understand. I just want to, if you permit me,
continue
to explain the policy of 30th October 2023.
Yes.
How it came about and what was the prelude to the October 30th, 2023. Now, when we took over as a minister with the new Minister of Finance, we were provided with the report of the petroleum struck out in this country in 2021. When the traders, those traders that they are saying that the Lamin and the PS Camera and the two PSCs as finance are saying that it was the companies that apply the policies that apply the ULH, that was the guideline or what they call it guideline or policy, is that the country ran out of fuel because people stole the product of the traders in the terminal. And this was over a period. The report is here. I will share a copy with you. This is the report that the president at the time set up the task force led by the then Minister of Trade, Siliketa, that people stole the product of the traders in the terminal and caused this country to run out of fuel in October 2021. Yes, it's here. I'll give you.
Yes, you can make a submission to me.
Yes, I'll give you.
Yes. Continue.
Yeah. Then it cost the Petroleum. The traders then stopped bringing product in the country at that time. Then when we came in, the OMCs that were claiming that they were the ones that were applying for ULH, you apply for ULH and you don't own the product. The product is not in your name. You did not order the product, you did not pay for the product. The product is brought and deposited. Yeah, but I'll provide it, you know. I'll provide it. I'm interrupted, you know.
Sorry, you can start all over. You said the products of what international traders were stolen at the depot. Okay, you may continue from there.
That led the Gulf Petroleum liable for the traders, and the traders stopped bringing product at the terminal. Then the OMCs were authorized to now start lifting product from Senegal by overland. Then we came in. When we came in as the new government in 2022, then the OMCs can talk together against the government, claiming exchange rate fluctuations, claiming trader premium, claiming margins, claiming LC charges and all of that. This led to the former vice president of the country, Badara, calling several meetings with OMCs, etc. Then in September 2022, the OMCs decided to come up and stop selling fuel, which they were lifting from the terminal. Again, in February 2023, they went on again and stopped selling fuel to hold the government ransom. Then we discussed at the highest level in cabinet that this needs to be addressed. How do you address it? By empowering GNPC. Then the government, through the Ministry of the Central Bank, provided some facilities to GNPC to bring product. And at that time, it was only PSTV that was bringing fuel and stocking it at GB. At which time, GB had to borrow, over 20-something million from the trust bank to pay for the product that were stolen by those OMCs. I just saw some of the OMCs that were conniving with the then management of the Gulf Petroleum. And a huge loss to Gulf Petroleum. It's all here. Then in the early part of the year, we discussed this in cabinet. Then I came up with a policy to clarify. This policy was already it was existing, and then it was needed to be documented. It was what was operating, but it needed to be documented. Then the first policy, this policy was meant to provide government policy on restoring and lifting petroleum products at depots in the country and for transit and re-export. Because we got the information that our neighbors, the Malians that were coming to lift product from this country, were being extorted by some of these so-called licensees who had no product. And most of these people that were licensed, issued with license, have never brought product at the terminal. So we needed to provide this clarity. I'm coming, Honorable. It's important that you understand. Now, then the first policy was then issued on the 3rd of July 2023, a copy of which is here, and addressed to the General Manager of Gulf Petroleum, to the GPS, all international traders and depositors, and all licensed operators, licensed importers.
Sorry to interrupt, Honourable Minister. It will be important if we can have those copies. So
yes, I'm reading from it. I will give it to you. I'm guiding myself.
Did you make any submission to the Secretariat?
No, I don't need any.
You did not?
No.
So, because it will be important for us to be at the same wavelength with you. In that case, honourable members.
So you can copy it?
Yes, that's what I want to do. If you will permit us, we'll just take 5 minutes. We'll stand down for 5 minutes, allow the Secretariat to make sufficient copies of this, then we can proceed. Yes, honourable.
Yes, I want to suggest maybe if anybody would document.
Yes.
As we are proceeding, we can also include anybody would document that is of interest in Congress.
Yes, because
also be asked to.
Yes, but what he is reading now is important. So and it will be important for us to have it. So that. So can someone move that we stand down for 10 minutes, that is to come back by sub 12?
Yes. Yeah, I move that we stand down for 10 minutes.
Any seconder? Seconder. It is been moved and seconded that this joint committee stand down till midday. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Thank you.
No way out there. I
know you go.
So, from what I done, I was only concentrating on the message. Majority leader.